Right, so I was feeling okay today, so I added some approach jumps at the end of the plyo session. I started off with some weighted jumps because I felt like these would be the more intense of the plyometric exercises that I was going to be doing in this session here. I still have a bit of a tendency to looking down while I'm in the air, and this is probably throwing off my proprioception, so the body follows the head and then I'm not really in control anymore, and sometimes I land a bit forward, sometimes I land a bit back, and this is probably detracting from the amount of force that I can generate from the floor, even though I was jumping on a mat. Just did that as a bit of a precaution more than anything else. I wanted to diminish the amount of impact that the foot was going to absorb on these jumps, because I was going to do a few different exercises. And in between I was doing some upper body stuff, so weighted push-ups with an extra 20 kilos. First set I was doing 8, and in the second one I did 7. So I was going up a couple of reps since the last time that I was doing these, and they felt okay. I had the feeling that there was no discomfort in the shoulder as I was going down. Usually that's one of the exercises that is giving me a bit of a signal that the rotator cuff is under load and under a bit of stress, but it's never something that causes me discomfort or pain. So I think that I am treading a good path towards being fully out of the woods finally. And after the push-ups, I catch a little breather before getting into some plyo jumps. I noticed also that I'm looking down a little bit, and I need to focus a bit more on keeping my head looking forward at least. I'm looking at the mirror. So I guess that could help my peripheral view, which is slightly thrown away by the fact that I'm wearing glasses. I don't know, I've never really noticed that, and I never really gave it a go, so I might as well. After the plyo jumps, I was getting into some med ball slams, so I was alternating upper push and upper pull with some lower body stuff. So plyometric stuff, upper body stuff for a giant set of about 6 exercises. And then I was getting into some kneeling jumps onto the box, which is slightly different from the ones that I was doing in the previous session. I will be keeping kneeling jumps in because I feel like they provide good training to getting into the position in the shortest time possible and really preloading the hips and the knees into getting into an as explosive jump as I can. The second set of plyo weighted jumps looked a bit better. I noticed that I was able to get into a better rhythm where I was loading the hips without falling forward or back too much. And I can say, or rather I would like to say the same about the plyo jumps, but I was noticing that there wasn't as much control as with the weights, which probably are giving me a bit more stability, and again need to be really focused on each jump, at least the ones that I try to go as explosive as I can. Second set of weighted push-ups, I did 7, so it was a total of 15 reps in this session here. I might be going for another 2 sessions or so that then I can move over to 3 sets and do something like 7, 6, 5, something like that. I don't think that I'm going to be moving over to 25 kilos anytime soon, but what I'm already thinking about is the fact that maybe after I max the progression with 25 kilos, I might be starting doing something like deficit push-ups, or maybe using the parallettes just to increase the range of motion so that I can stay within the same plates without having to get a backpack and load that up. And the end of the session was low raises and approach jumps. I was using left-right approach because I feel like the left foot is the one that is not giving me any discomfort, and the right foot, if it's used as the block step, it's not really giving me discomfort either. So I decided to stay with this approach for both sets. In the first one, I was getting decent air times, a couple of 710 milliseconds, which is okay considering that for the last couple of weeks or so I wasn't really doing any approach jumps because I was concerned that it would flare up the discomfort inside at the bottom of my right foot, but I wasn't feeling any of that today, so that is really good. Low raises are going well. I'm almost at 30 reps per session divided in 2 sets, so if I can add a couple more, I will be adding a 3rd set and drop the reps down and progress these until I can do something between 15 and 20 for all of those before going up in weight. And the last set of the approach jumps also, so wasn't really getting the same times as in the first one, and I was also noticing that I should be paying more attention at the way that my torso is leaning forward a bit too much. Maybe I'm not really able to load the hips as much, and I'm also probably spending too much time with my hands up in the air. I should just like use the swing to propel me upwards, but then bring the arms down and stay a bit stiffer. That's it. Ciao.